All right, so you're looking for a dog trainer here in the Campbellsport area? Well, you are in the right spot. Let's figure this out together.
First things first, let's think about the why. Picture that perfect day with your dog. Maybe it's just a really nice, peaceful walk along the Eisenbahn State Trail without any pulling or stress.
And, getting to that point, it all comes down to having a well-behaved companion. That training is what builds the partnership that makes those moments possible.
Okay, Section 1. What training do you actually need? It's all about matching your goals to the right kind of approach.
For most of us, it boils down to one of these common goals. Things like basic obedience, sit, stay, you know the drill, or puppy essentials if you've got a new little one. And then there are the big ones. Leash pulling, getting your dog to actually come when you call them, stopping the jumping on guests, or maybe you're dealing with something a bit more serious, like fearfulness or reactivity. Nailing these really does make life so much easier.
So you've basically got two main options here: group classes or private lessons. Group classes, they're awesome for socialization and practicing with distractions around. Plus, they're usually easier on the wallet. Private lessons, on the other hand, are totally tailored to your specific problems. Perfect for things that only happen at home, like that crazy barking every time the doorbell rings.
All right, let's move on to choosing the right trainer. This is about finding a qualified professional you can really trust.
Okay, you're going to hear this term a lot: positive reinforcement. And all it really means is using rewards, like a treat or some praise, to show your dog what you want them to do. It's a way of teaching that builds a great relationship.
And this is why it works so well. Your dog learns what you want them to do instead of just being told no all the time. It helps them make the right choice, whether that's walking past another dog on Main Street or ignoring a jogger on the trail.
Now, you're going to see a bunch of letters after some trainers' names, and yeah, it can look like alphabet soup, but these certifications are a really good sign. A CPDTK, for instance, means they've passed a big exam on training knowledge. Something like an IABC-CDBC, that's for trainers who specialize in more serious behavior stuff. It just shows they've put in the work.
All right, Section 3, costs and key questions. Let's talk money and what you need to ask before you hire someone.
So here's a rough idea of what training costs look like in the Campbellsport area. As you can see, group classes for a few weeks might run you a couple $100. A single private lesson is going to be around $100 to $160, and then you have bigger packages like in-home visits or the really intensive board and train options, which cost quite a bit more. This should give you a good ballpark for budgeting.
And here's a great tip. A lot of trainers will offer a free phone consultation. Definitely take them up on that. It's the perfect way to get a feel for their style and see if you click before you spend any money.
So when you make that call, what should you actually ask?
Here are 7 really good questions to have in your back pocket. Ask them to describe their training methods. That's number 1. Then, what are their credentials? Ask how they'd adapt training for local spots. You'll also want their opinion on what's best for your dog right now, group or private. And a big one, how will you measure progress? Of course, get the details on total costs and their policies. And finally, it's good to know if they're willing to work with your vet, especially for bigger behavior issues. Okay, Section 4, local places to practice. Because once you learn the skills, you've got to put them to work out in the real world.
The Eisenbahn State Trail is just perfect for this. It's a great spot to practice that loose leash walking. You'll have bikes and joggers passing by, which are perfect, real-life distractions to work with. Then you can head over to the Kettle Moraine State Forest. The areas near the Moth and Long Lakes trailheads can get a little busier with families and picnics. It's the ideal place to work on teaching your dog to just be calm and settle down when there's more going on.
And don't forget about downtown Campbellsport itself. Even just a quick 5-minute session on the sidewalk is great for practicing focus. You've got people walking by, some traffic. It's a great way to teach your dog to ignore all that and pay attention to you.
Okay, what about off-leash recall? That's a huge one, right? For that, you absolutely need a safe, fenced-in area. You'll probably have to take a short drive, but spots like the Sandy Knoll Dog Park in West Bend, Homestead Hollow in Germantown, or the one in Sheboygan are going to be your best bets for practicing that.
And through all of this, just remember to be patient, especially if you have a rescue dog. There's this thing called the 3-3-3 rule. It's just a guideline that it takes about 3 days for them to decompress, 3 weeks to learn your routine, and 3 whole months to really start feeling at home. It's a great reminder that this stuff takes time.
So just think about it. What could you and your dog do around town with just a little more confidence?
Good luck with your training. Having that well-behaved companion really opens up so many doors for enjoying everything we have here, whether that's just relaxing somewhere downtown or hitting those beautiful trails together.